So once again, Anshika, congratulations. You've made it to a
Thank you.
top program in the world.
Thank you. Wouldn't have been possible without you, I have to say, really.
Thank you so much. Tell me, give us the highlights of your experience of working with us. What do you think was the best thing that really, really turned things around for you?
Your attitude was everything, Jatin. Because when I was even contemplating about going for MBA consultants, then I just resonated with you because your attitude, you don't settle for mediocre, and that pushed me to not settle for mediocre for my own stories. It's a different thing to have a story, and it's a different thing to articulate it properly, to showcase it in a certain way, and that I learned throughout this journey, and that you made me learn. Because I had my story, I knew that these are the things I want to highlight. But sometimes when writing certain things about my life, for some things I get overly emotional. For something I will just brush it off, and then my husband will come to me and he'll be like, you've done this, why not highlighting it? So it was the process of reflection plus you pushing me so much to look at my story in that 360-degree angle. Okay, this angle is not working, let me try this angle. So all of that different keep rethinking your stories in different ways and trying to put my best foot forward. So that was something that you pushed me to do. So I have to say that your attitude actually helped me grow in this
Thank
whole
you.
process.
You're making me excited as well.
I have to say, I remember I'll read your mails and you'll be like, Anshika, this is not you. I think you can do better than this. So that thing actually made me do better. And I would reread your feedback again and again to actually see where did I go wrong. Because at times when I submit my essays, I remember for my first school, I was submitting my essay. I read all these hundreds of sample essays, and I was like, my essay now, Jatin can't say anything. This should be good. This should be good enough. And then you came back saying, Anshika, this is artificial. What are your goals? Like, think of, and then I was like, oh, because I read so many sample essays, I was just trying to align my essays with those. I was not thinking from my perspectives, so it has to be regional, it has to be you in the end. And, you made me do that for myself to just, put my story forward and keep it original at the same time. So, yeah.
That's very overwhelming. What suggestions do you have for people who are applying to top MBA programs, Anshika? What would you suggest? People who are getting started, they have no idea what their goals are. They're just beginning the process. What are the key suggestions you have for people like those?
I have to say that it's a long-term commitment. One thing, I was not aware that it'll take this much time and this much reflection, and I was not clear about my goals and all of that when I started with you. So I would say that, keep a good time for this and start reaching out to people. Start reaching out and start making putting down your goals, because I was not clear at the time, and I know how much that clarity helps. When I started reaching out to people, I started getting clarity about the schools, about the profiles I can go for. So the earlier the better you can prepare. I was too much into just getting my GMAT score right. I did not understand how much time and commitment this entire application process requires, and it doesn't happen in one day. It is not something like that you have to solve a maths problem. It's something that you have to keep reflecting on your life and coming up with stories. It's not about that what you have done in your office or what you've done in general, your those paper based achievements. It's about your entire journey through life, and your each and every tiny achievement through it. You have I guess I did not reflect on my life this much any time throughout this 27 years of my being. I first time in my life I was thinking about my upbringing, my each and every step I took to be the person who I am today. So it's not a 1 week process or 10 days process. Okay, 20 days I'll keep aside for a school and finish the essays. That doesn't happen like that. And not every day you'll have material or the motivation to even write. So it's a lot of reflection, a lot of thinking. So I will say the more time you have, the better, and earlier you can get clarity about your goals and about what MBA programs you want to target, and you reach out to people to talk to understand about the programs, to understand about the profiles you're targeting, the better.
And so I tell you what, you have addressed a lot of other questions that I had for you, and I was coming to the challenges as well. I think you responded to that as well. But there is one thing that I want to understand. What was your? I remember you and I did the mock a day before we did the mock interviews. And how was your? Yeah. So how was your overall experience of doing the real interviews with them, and what happened there?
Jatin, I remember I was a nervous wreck the day we did the mock. You were asking me questions to even calm me down, and I was like, what is he asking? Well, why is he asking? I was so lost because I was concentrating on what all can go wrong in the interview the next day. And so if somebody else is like me, if everybody, I guess everybody gets nervous, but I really get nervous when it comes to, interviews. So what I did was that next day I just talked to myself. I was like, in the end, it's about my story. And everybody just wants to know me. So nobody can tell my story better than me. So I just talked to myself like that. And I just went into that interview just with the main motive of telling that person about myself in the best possible way, about my professional life, personal life. And fortunately for me, I guess both interviews were really conversational. And the guys one was from France and one was with a alum who was from Greece. So both were really interested in my story. And so that kind of worked out for me. One was actually interviewing me in the middle of moving. And he was, getting very nostalgic about his time in HEC and all of that. I'll say you take interest in their story also. And what I kept doing, I kept asking him questions about his experience while he was narrating. I was really taking interest in his story. I was asking him questions. So that kept him also engaged in the interview. So what I understood was in the MBA interviews, in the end, it's all about an interesting conversation. If you're just looking for the question and answer, and you don't engage the other person also in this conversational sort of interview, then it's not going to be that way. Because obviously they are judging you. Obviously they are giving you grades on certain characteristics, but in the end, everybody is looking for a interesting conversation. And that's what happened, I guess, in my interview. And my second interview, he kept telling me, you are not cut out for consulting. Why? Because I put my goal as consulting, and he was like, you're not cut out for consulting. Why do you want to go for consulting? And I kept convincing him throughout my interview that why do I think. And in the end, he ended up giving me a lot of advices. And, he got interested in my profile so much. He sent me LinkedIn request right after the interview. And he was like, I really want to see how your career unfolds. So I would say engaged in the interview, be as honest as possible. And that's what helped me to get over my nerves also, because in the end, I was really honest. I was just having a conversation with a friend. That's what I said, telling them about myself.
Tell me one thing. The design of our MBA consulting program is as such that there are times the way we do it is that it makes you kind of, to some extent, ready. And it's not just for essays and applications, but you kind of get ready to bear or face what is coming up in the MBA program. Do you feel more ready than you were 6-7 months ago?
Definitely. I'm not dreading reaching out to people and learn more about things, because that was something that you helped me. Because I remember our first mock networking call. What I was talking about, I had no objective in my mind. I was just talking about weather, I guess, just to strike off a conversation. And but reaching out to people and with an objective in mind, asking the right questions, and to gain that clarity about the professional life you're going to get into, and the career goals and the program, everything that actually prepared me for helped me to learn those skills. It prepared me to use those in my network, in my MBA program as well, because I know that a few of the LMs which I reached out to, they are already in the consulting program. So they helped me to even understand how can I start preparing now, even before starting the business school for these consulting programs. So that's there. Plus, one of the LM told me that consulting interviews are just not about cases; they are about your personal story as well. So this exercise of learning more about yourself is actually in the end not only preparing you for your MBA applications, but also preparing you for those interviews also. So it's a really the entire process is designed as such. I guess it really helps you to get to your destination.
Yay! Thank you. Thank you so much. You've been an amazing applicant. I know you've put in a lot of work. I've seen you. I know. And I also know that every time you come back, you'll come back with a mail saying thank you. And you've been very, very positive in all your communication. That was one of the ways it was very easy to challenge you all the time. I did not face any resistance working with you at all.
The more you were challenged, I like that, Jatin, about you. I admire that. And even if I feel bogged down at times, my husband will be like, he's pushing you for you. This entire process is for your benefit, So I always looked at whatever challenges, whatever feedback in a really positive way. And I try to inculcate those in my next essay, next version. So that actually so that's why I say that you actually pushed me to the extent that I did not. So I thought this is my best, and you told me that no, this is not the best, this can get better. Now this is what you can call your best. So that what happened in our journey.
Thank you for being rocking, and best of luck for your MBA, Anshika. Thank you.
Thank you, Jatin. Thanks a lot.